for all of you watching this video, take a deep breath. Stop letting the idea of starting meditation practices stress you out, okay? So before we jump into the video, take one deep breath for me. Now you're ready to learn about meditation. Hola my beautiful lotus flowers, welcome back or welcome to my channel. If you're into nerdy now on everything astrology, spirituality, and self-transformation, this is the community for you. I know it can be stressful to know where to begin, what to do, but just forget all of that and leave all of that behind. We're going to start the video with 3 mindset shifts that will really help you get in the right mindset for meditation, because it's super important and I don't want you to overlook that. It's just as important as the technical part, if not more important than the technical parts of meditation. On top of that, we won't be covering one specific type of meditation, so just keep that in mind. But in the last half of the video, I will be giving you some physical suggestions for starting your meditation practice as well. The first mindset shift for you is detaching from expectations. We oftentimes go into every situation, every conversation expecting a certain outcome. Say you're really excited because you got a job promotion, and you're excited to tell your spouse because you want them to be happy for you, you want them to join in on your joy, and when you tell them, their reaction isn't bad, but it's not what you expected. So you end up extremely disappointed, and you're gonna blame this on your spouse. But in reality, we set those expectations and we have control over those expectations. Now, I'm not saying that we shouldn't have, certain standards that we uphold in our relationships and so on and so forth. I'm just saying that you need to embrace the flow of life rather than keeping yourself in this blind cage, this blind one-way street of expectations that you set for everything in your life. I've had a lot of people express different concerns regarding meditation to me, and one of them is that they struggle really badly to achieve what they want to achieve with meditation. So they're attaching an expected outcome to their meditation practice. Those who have practiced meditation for a while usually have really otherworldly, esoteric, mystical experiences, and a lot of people want to get to that point in their meditation practice. Honestly, I haven't even reached that point in my meditation practice. I'm not even close. And it's a long-term journey to get somewhere like that. But even so, even if that is your goal, remember not to attach an expectation. Meditation is a lot like exercise in that way. Everybody's experience is going to be different, and what works for everybody is going to be very different. So do not attach an expected outcome to your meditation practice. If you feel like you're not getting to that really mystical, otherworldly place that a lot of other people get to, detach from that. Once you recognize the anxiety of that expectation starting to surface when you meditate, just let it go. Let it pass and let it go. Let go of any expectations that you have for your meditation practice and just let the process be what it is for you and you only. Do not compare it to other people's experience. The second piece of mindset shifting advice that I have for you is to begin to recognize your emotional triggers and thought patterns and realize that these are not who you are. These do not control who you are and your life. What does this mean exactly? I'm going to actually use an example from the book The Untethered Soul, which I highly recommend you to read, especially if you're trying to shift your mindset into a more spiritual mindset in general. But I'm going to focus on one example from the book where he's trying to give an analogy in order to separate your idea of the senses and your thought patterns from your actual inner self. So we all have this inner voice that constantly is conversating with us in our head, right? So the point of being more spiritual, if you will, is to separate yourself from what you're receiving from the outside world and what's actually going on inside for you. So for example, I hope this makes sense in just a second. So for example, say you're in a theater watching a movie. Have you ever like spaced out while watching a movie? You know, your mind starts thinking of something and suddenly you're like daydreaming or imagining something, and you're so sucked into those thoughts that even though your eyes are still technically perceiving the movie and taking in what's happening, you have completely zoned it out and canceled it out, and you're having a whole separate experience inside your own mind, separate from what your senses are picking up from the outside world. Hopefully that kind of starts putting it into perspective for you, but it's basically your inner self versus your physical senses. That's the simplest way I can put it. Now the opposite can happen vice versa, you know, like kids are a good example, because kids often get very sucked in by movies and shows and whatnot. So that's why sometimes they want to sit really close to the screen. They like sit there with their mouths open. They start repeating everything that they're hearing. And it's like they don't see anything else happening around them except for that movie or whatever it is that they're watching, to the point where you can try to talk to them and it's hard to snap them out of it. They're getting sucked in by their physical senses and what's happening around them versus what's happening inside of them. Once you can start to observe your physical senses rather than getting sucked into them, like the kid watching the exciting movie, that is when you start to separate your inner self from your emotional triggers and your physical triggers. If somebody's mean to you and you react immediately off of your emotional trigger from that, then what you're doing is you're allowing your emotional triggers to suck you in instead of just observing it and letting it pass. Your mind is constantly trying to search for solutions to everything happening around it. It is constantly looking at what negative situations are going on around you so it can try to fix them. That's the way that we survive, you know, that's the way that we have survived as a race. But you need to separate yourself from that. Don't let yourself get sucked into that. Realize that that's a natural thought process your mind goes through, and that in no way defines who you are or your meditation practice. By not allowing yourself to be swept up by the idea that your meditation isn't working and then allowing that to make you frustrated, by separating yourself from that emotion, you start to make progress in your meditation practice. My third piece of advice is to become more at peace with your inner disturbance. Many people have expressed to me that they become really frustrated because once they start to meditate, a lot of darker emotions and memories start to resurface, because most of the time they're allowing themselves to be distracted by everything in the physical world and allowing that to suppress or ignore those dark emotions that they keep hidden. Let me tell you, if you're feeling this way during meditation, you need meditation or some type of grounding practice more than ever. Whenever you feel that turmoil starting to bubble inside of you and resurface when you're meditating, do not resist it. And that's going to sound weird, but what actually keeps it accumulating inside of you and causing so much trauma, fear, anxiety is because we block that energy from being released. There's certain experiences that will cause the energy to move, and then get blocked at one of the chakras. So what's happening when you resist and suppress and ignore these dark emotions, they are getting blocked. They are causing more problems internally for you over the long term. If you feel them coming up when you're meditating, you feel the need to cry or you feel the need to let it out in some way, then let it out. Let yourself cry. Let yourself sit with that emotion. And it's a lot easier said than done. I know, trust me. But it needs to be done because you're allowing that energy to release. Rather than viewing this energy as an internal emergency that needs your immediate reaction, view it as a temporary shift in your energy and let it be present as long as it needs to be for it to start to dissipate and release from you. If you're liking this video so far, be sure that you don't forget to give it a thumbs up And be sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell. And if you're starting on your meditation journey, or if you have been meditating for a while and just looking for new advice, leave a comment down below and let me know where you're at on your meditation journey. I definitely want to know. Now let's move from the internal to the external. So these are 3 pieces of physical advice that I have to help your meditation practice. My first piece of advice for you is having a comfortable go-to peaceful spot where you can practice your meditation comfortably with a few materials to also help your practice. Now, don't panic. This does not have to be fancy. I live in a 4-bedroom apartment with 3 other roommates. My only personal space is my room. And so I don't have some like fancy meditation room or anything like that, but that is okay. No matter whether you have an entire room you can dedicate to meditation practice, or if it's like me and you have a little meditation corner in your room, I recommend you just spruce it up a little bit with maybe some essential oils or candles. Now, you don't need anything super fancy. I know everybody gets really caught up in having incense and candles and essential oils and the whole 9 yards, but just pick one that you really like. Just having a soothing scent that really relaxes you is going to help a lot with your meditation practice and make it feel cozier and more peaceful. Another way to make your meditation practice a bit cozier is also to get just a cheap, comfortable sleeping mask. If you're somebody that has a hard time keeping your eyes closed, or there's just a lot of light all the time wherever you live and you need something to shut it out. That's if you're somebody who wants to do a closed eyes meditation, then this definitely helps out a lot because it's something that helps me out a lot. The last material that I would suggest to add to your meditation space is some headphones or earbuds if you have them available to you. If not, it's okay. But if you do plan on doing some type of guided meditation or listening to music or some type of sounds, I highly recommend inserting earbuds or headphones because this will help fully immerse you into your practice. My second piece of physical advice for meditation is to start practicing breathing from the belly, not from the chest. A lot of people don't know this, but breathing from the chest is more of a survival way of breathing, and it actually increases our stress levels and everything that follows with that. And it's not good for us. And most of the time, we're not paying attention to how we breathe because we do it so subconsciously throughout the day that we're oftentimes taking shallow chest breaths. This is something that's very important for your meditation practice because it's not like all day you're going to be making sure that you're breathing from your belly. That's pretty unrealistic. So you want to make sure that at least during your meditation practice, you are breathing correctly during that time. I'm going to show you guys. Okay. So can you see my belly? Okay. Watch my belly really quick. This is me breathing from my belly. Notice how my belly expanded? That's because I was breathing from my belly. Breathing from the belly can actually help lower your blood pressure and lower those stress levels because it allows for a full oxygen exchange in your body, whereas breathing from the chest does not. Another way to help your breathing practice is to make sure that when you meditate, you are sitting up straight, okay? You're sitting up straight, but not tense. And if you have back problems, it's okay to have something to support your back, like a pillow that you can have against your lower back, or if you need to sit in a chair, you can do that too. As long as you're in a straight, comfortable position with your legs crossed, this is going to allow for better energetic flow and breathing. The third piece of physical advice I have for you is find the right meditation for you and just be patient with the process. I cannot stress this enough. There are so many different types of meditations out there, and 2 that I have found work really well for me are visualization meditations and mindfulness meditations. But it's all about finding what works for you. And what I recommend doing is just simply going on YouTube and searching for some type of guided meditation and just start trying them out. It might take a while before you find ones that resonate with you and feel good for you, but that's okay. Just be patient. On top of searching for the right type of meditation, start with a 5-minute meditation. I don't recommend going past 5 minutes unless, maybe you're someone who's already been diving into meditation and you feel ready to go past that. But for me, I tried to start with like 20-minute meditations and I didn't realize just how hard that was and how impatient and bored I got. So starting with 5 minutes was so good for me. It helped me build up my endurance, my mental endurance, and then continue on and build as time goes. Right now, I'm able to do about 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes on a really calm and collected day, but it's okay to be realistic with yourself and just take the process slow. Meditation is honestly like exercise for the mind, so treat it like exercise. You can't just jump in the gym, do the most insane workout ever right from the get-go and expect to be totally fine and then see results the next day. It's just not how it works. Meditation is the same way. It's a daily practice that you keep up for long-term results and long-term benefits. Once again, if you enjoyed this video, be sure you don't forget to give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button and the bell for me. And if you haven't already, hop over to the LaBlue Lotus Facebook community where we talk more about everything astrology, spirituality, and using those for self-transformation. You can also head over to Instagram and follow me at Marisa LaBlue and watch these videos to help you even more on your spiritual and astrological journey. I look so forward to seeing you in my next videos, so until next time, adios!